We're well over halfway through now and the battles are brewing for championship supremacy. Any of the front runners in both classes could be up for a win in Wiltshire. Chris Smith has been busily banking points and still holds on to the top of the table. But as we all know, anything can happen in the mini challenge. Josh, you had a major off in qualifying. Talk us through what happened.
Well, yeah, just going into Quarry, which is a flick left and the right hander, which is probably the first proper corner on the track. Going about 115 miles an hour into there, touched the brakes and didn't have enough heat in the rear tyres, so back end snapped out and just flung me into the tyre barrier on the left. So there's no gravel traps at Castle Combe, so it's just a bit of grass. So yeah, hit the barrier pretty hard, and as you can see, the car's quite damaged. I've got a lot of great mechanics working on the car at the moment, so as long as we can get the parts, be a rush, but we'll bodge something back together, so hopefully I can be driving around for race one.
With Castle Combe's high-speed curves, it's a combination of driver skill, determination and bravery that will mean success here today. Now that's one thing for the seasoned drivers, but this weekend there are a couple of newbies on the scene.
It's the first time I've ever raced a racing car, full stop. I got my licence a couple of months ago, and it's the first time I've raced this circuit, obviously, because I've not raced before. Yeah. So yeah, it's really exciting, really exciting, and really enjoy qualifying.
I've raced in a race series every year since 2005, 4 years in the mini challenge, and been through the series without any great success and without any great enjoyment. So I thought I'd come back and dip my toe in the water again this year, with a hope to do a full season next year.
Today's first outing on the tarmac is a standing start. Shane Stoney finds himself in his familiar position up front for the Coopers, and on pole for the JCWs it's speedy Irishman Chris Smiley. Good news for Josh Gollin, he's made the race despite that crash in qualifying. Let's go racing.
Well, Josh Gideon, in fact, will be starting from the pit lane, but a huge field, nonetheless, headed by Chris Smiley, with John Brown showing the front row, then Chris Smith and Luke Cordell, Jake Packen and Lee Allen, a very competitive row three. Still they keep coming. The first, the Cooper class cars, is Shane Stoney, who's leading the championship overall, and the Cooper class runners in emphatic fashion. He shares the front row of the Cooper class grid with Ricky Page, getting better and better as the season has gone on. Great to see a couple of new names on the grid, Toby Hoxton and Graham Leggett in particular. It's Kevin Norman who completes the field as we're ready for the off here at Castle Combe. Inkai Leander's away we go. It's a good getaway from Cordell just ahead of him as the field sprint off towards Folly for the first time. It's Chris Smythe though who converts pole position, and into second position goes Chris Smith. There's a little bit of bumping and boring going on behind there, as well as over Avon Rise into Quarry Corner, and it's Smiley who leads, Smith in second place, then it's the black car of Jake Packen in third, the Allen the Blue Machine in fourth, as the JCW runners and the Cooper class runners turn through Quarry for the first time. It's Shane Stoney who leads the Cooper class. In car Lee Allen who goes to the move, and Chris Smith loses 2 places in one fell swoop into the S's. Lee Allen though runs out wide over the grass, so Smith demoted into third. It was Jake Packen who went second, and now Lee Allen busy fighting to hold on to fourth. What about the Cooper class? That is Shane Stoney who leads from Ricky Page, then Hamish Brandon, Gideon Cresswell out of Tower, and Smiley still pulling clear of Jake Packard and Chris Smith. Everybody else disputing places behind. There's Kevin O'Connor just in behind John O'Brown, and then it's Luke Cordell who's the next man ahead of us. It's a good showing in the early stages from Kevin O'Connor. He's got William Davison in turn, chasing him down as through Camp Corner, the end of the first lap, and already the leading trio just beginning a little bit of daylight with themselves. The rest of the field, so Luke Cordell puts the pressure on Lawrence David. Just ahead of him, there's David, 19 car, the Black Machine, ducks to the inside to cover the line into Folly with good reason, as Luke Cordell applies the pressure as they then head on towards Avon Rise and Quarry Corner, and you can see Davey moving across the road, doing what he can to keep Luke Cordell behind him. But Cordell trying to force the issue. He runs over the curbs to the inside Quarry, a little bit of contact on the exit, the pair of them sprinting towards the S's. And Caudle's got the inside line. He should go through here, but no. Lawrence Davey holds on. Super drives for a pair of them. And this is the mini challenge at its very, very best. And this is why it packs in the crowds, because that was incredibly tight. And now it's John O'Brown who's coming to join the party as well. Then we've got another scrap going on behind as problems for Toby Hotston. He goes straight through. Chicane at the S's, he'll rejoin. No harm done. In the meantime, the race leaders negotiate the other chicanes. That is Bobby's, before they then sprint down Westway onto the Dean Straight, awaiting Camp Corner. Chris Smith just coming towards Jake Packen here, which is good news for the race leader, Chris Smiley. There's Smiley, the red car. He leads, pulls clear of Jake Packen, who is being reeled in by Chris Smith. And that, if they slow themselves down, could bring the Allen and the rest into the mix. Meanwhile, back to the lead of the Cooper class, when Shane Stoney bounces his way through Camp Corner. Ricky Page in a red car this weekend in pursuit as the safety car comes out. And that's why Grace Williams' car is stranded off the circuit. And this is why we called it glimpse of it earlier on. Contact between Grace Williams and Justin Taylor. Doesn't do either of the cars any good at all. A quick intervention for the safety car. We're about ready to go racing. Chris Smiley pulls the pin as away we go, sprinting out of Camp Corner once more. And the JCW cars with Smiley, Packen and Smith on his tail. Then we've still got battle going on between Lawrence Davey and Luke Caudle. Kevin O'Connor has got the blue car. William Davison, also Mark Stewart, just in behind him as well. Stuart Caudle part of that scrap too. There's around Quarry. The safety car really has bunched the ball out. Chris Smiley has to do all that hard work from the first couple of laps of the race once more through the S's. It's just a continuous train of mini challenge cars. So refreshing to see such a full grid of cars when so many other championships are struggling. The mini challenge each and every weekend has got pretty much a near capacity entry, with dicing going on throughout the field as through Tower. And still Smiley tries to pull clear of Jake Packen and Smith. Then that slight gap back to Lee Allen, who's got Lawrence Davey all over his tail as they jink through Bobby's and on towards Westway and the Dean Straight once more. And Lawrence Davey could be lining up a move here on the Allen into Camp Corner. Now down the Dean Straight into Camp, and in Kylie Allen, he's passed by Lawrence Davey, and he looks to get the power down on the exit, then pulls the inside road, and all may not be well there with the Allen, because he allows Luke Caudle through, and also John O'Brown past as well, and then picks up the momentum. There's a couple of spots of rain appear on the camera. It's not deterring the Cooper class battle at all, is it? It is still Shane Stoney who leads. It's now number 8, Hamish Brandon, second, and it's Ricky Page with the white and green car. Ollie Walker in fourth, looking to get himself up onto the Cooper class podium. And he jinks out the slipstream behind Ricky Page as they come over Avon Rise into Quarry Corner. Ollie Walker goes to the move into Quarry. Lovely pass that from Walker, saw the gap to the inside, but Ricky Page immediately looks to retaliate as they sprint towards the S's. Ollie Walker tries to shut the door. Can't really do that because Ricky Page is there already. So it's the red car of Page who turns over a new leaf, goes back into third position as Ollie Walker, well, he was briefly in the podium positions, but no more. He's now going to have to sprint here, Walker, because we're getting towards the latter stage of the race, and it's still this battle going on for second overall between Jake Packen and Chris Smith. We're now pretty much as we were before the safety car, with Chris Smiley romping clear, then Packen and Smith, and they've been caught by John O'Brown as well. Impressive stuff this from John O'Brown, one of the stars in last year's mini challenge, racing in the Cooper class, stepping up to the JCW class this year and pressurising Chris Smith. But it's Packen who is doggedly defending second place. And at the start of the season at Snetterton, when Jake Packen was comfortably the fastest car, everybody thought he was just going to run away with it this season. That's not really been the case at all. Reliability and improved performances counteracted that. Problems for Gideon Cresswell, and that doesn't sound altogether healthy. His race is near the end, and you can really see now the rain coming down. And for the Cooper class runners, that's not a concern. They run on treaded tyres, but for these drivers in the JCW class, they run on slick tyres, and therefore this is getting very, very precarious as they sprint past Kevin Norman, also putting a lap to Toby Hotston. They fan out as we see the challenge now for third position, and diving through goes John O'Brown. He snatches third place away from Chris Smith, and that really is bad luck for Smith. He's been pressurising Jake Packen for second for most of the race, and now he's almost off the rostrum as sliding sideways out of Camp Corner. Going into the final lap is Shane Stoney. He's got Hamish Brandon chasing him all the way. Still Ricky Page in third. They head up towards Avon Rise and Quarry Corner. Stoney in command of the Cooper class as towards the final turn at camp. For the final time of asking, it is Chris Smiley should win. He does, sideways over the line. Jake Packard in second, and John O'Brien just holds on. The third from Chris Smith, with then Luke Court and Lawrence Davey. The next men along, pursued by Kevin O'Connor and William Davison in the Cooper class, and it looks like it will be Shane Stoney who's going to take the win from Hamish Brandon and Ricky Page. Ollie Walker not quite onto the rostrum. Have a look then at the final results, with victory for Chris Smiley, second place Jake Packen completing the podium, John O'Brown, Chris Smith unlucky to finish in fourth from Luke Cordell and Lawrence Davey. So in terms of the classes, well, the JCW class, the top three in the race overall, so Smiley from Packen and Brown, and in the Cooper class, Shane Stoney claiming the honours from Hamish Brandon and Ricky Page. Hopefully the rain letting off enough for the drivers to enjoy their podium celebrations. Huge round of applause as Chris Smiley takes his place on the top step of the rostrum. He is joined by Shane Stoney, winner of the Cooper class, who along with the champagne and trophy also gets the voucher for 20 litres of Sunoco fuel.
Chris, that seemed quite comfortable for you.
Yeah, well, we've been working hard at our car setup. We got our head down at the start. We built our lead up. Then the safety car came out, so we had it all to do again. Then it started to rain. It was a bit of an eventful race.
It was a bit tricky though, that one though, with the rain. We had pressures all the way through from Hamish and Ricky. So, but yeah, the car was great when it was dry. Not so great when it was wet. But that was sort of, I think everybody's in the same boat with that. But it's played guinea pig a lot as well.
The unpredictability of the Great British Summer means that the teams are going to have to do some thinking about what they do for the next race if this rain does continue. But then again, it might not. So join us again after the break for race number 2 in the mini challenge. I am off to find my raincoat. Welcome back to Castle Combe, where we'll have more fantastic mini racing for you in just a moment. Now, the mini challenge is an incredibly social and interactive championship. You can see behind me you've got the hospitality tent. There's also the website, Facebook, Twitter, and now this season you can add to that the smartphone app. It was developed by one of the drivers and is designed to keep fans as up to date as possible with all the action.
Anthony, who runs Mini Challenge, wanted something to help publicise it and come up with the idea of a smartphone app. So it's for iPhone really. It works on iPad as well, but it's mainly for iPhone. Something that people can use at the circuit, or they can use it at home to find out more about the championship really. That's it.
Well, I've definitely got it on my phone, and I wondered if you could just take me through it and show me a couple of the sort of features on it,
Okay.
if possible.
So the main thing, I guess, is you can find out a bit about the drivers. So all the drivers are listed.
Yep.
You've got, where they are in the championship, what the numbers are, a nice, or in my case, not a very nice picture of them, and so you can find out quite a bit more about each individual. Also, if you're a fan, for example, and you don't know where the circuits are, it'll tell you precisely where the tracks are. So I spent a lot of time actually locating the GPS coordinates of the entry, so you don't actually go to the circuit, you go to the entry gate.
Yes. Very, very useful. You've also got all the standings and the results, haven't
That's
you?
right,
Which is
yeah.
really important.
Yeah, so it'll be as up to date as it can be, because I normally update the thing on Sunday when I get home. So
Yeah. Yeah.
if we could do it at the circuit, we would do.
Josh, did you actually make it out for race 1?
We didn't make it to the grid in time, so we had to start from the pit lane, and the car wouldn't go anyway. We tried to set off without a clutch, but there just wasn't enough go in the starter motor to get the car going. So it's a shame, but we'll be back out there for race 2 with a new clutch fitted. So although it doesn't look pretty, the guys have done an excellent job getting the car back and ready. So we'll be out there pushing on from the back.
Race number 2 has officially been declared a wet one, presenting a fresh set of challenges for our drivers. It's also a rolling start with a reverse grid of the top 6. So that means for the Coopers, in pole position is Simon Walton, and for JCW, it's Lawrence Davey.
Top 6 reversed, and the rolling start always provides fantastic entertainment, particularly on circuit. It's less known to some of the drivers like Castle Combe. So this is then how the JCW runners line up, with Lawrence Davey in pole from Luke Call, then Chris Smith and John O'Brown with race 1 winner Chris Smiley, of course, lining up in 6th. Amongst the Cooper runners, well, it's Simon Walton who starts from pole from Adrian Norman. It's a good result for Adrian to finish 5th in race 1, and then Shane Stoney again to the outside of row 3, as it is Lawrence Davey who paces them through Camp Corner, getting ready for the rolling start. Treacherous conditions here at Castle Combe for the second race of the weekend for the mini challenge, and away we go in car with Lee Allen. As you can see, we can't see much at all, and he's hemmed in between John O'Brown and Jake Packard as they sprint through Folly and up Avon Rise, which the Allens almost have to do pretty much on dead reckoning. There's Packard to the right-hand side as Davey covers the inside of the road, almost 3 wide through Quarry for the first time. It was Courtney Camille, then Chris Smiley looking to the outside. Now the opportunity there is potentially for the orange car of Chris Smith, who looks to draw alongside the red machine of Smiley as they arrive into the S's. The Allen also looking to gain a couple of places here as he tries to dive to the inside of John O'Brown. It's still there, Lawrence Davey who leads, Luke Caudle in 2nd, applying the pressure, and then Chris Smith in 3rd from Jake Packer and Chris Smiley. Lee Allen and John O'Brien, who was therefore demoted by Lee Allen, as out of Tower and on towards Bobby's. Still Lawrence Davey, the former Legends star, who leads the way from Luke Caudle, with Chris Smith just settling into his slipstream. In these early stages, you can see how much spray's being kicked up. And it's really weighing up the benefits of being in the slipstream versus actually being able to see the corner. As diving to the inside to Camp and almost making contact with Chris Smiley there was Lee Allen. Allen went for a gap that was rapidly disappearing, and Chris Smiley, fortunate really not to get tapped into a spin, but Lee's too experienced to make sure he doesn't accidentally nudge another driver. So they're all safely through Camp, as there is Josh Gollin. The car has been fantastically repaired by the team, and it's great to see him out in this race. We've got a super scrap going on amongst the JCW runners. Head of the field is still John O'Brown, and the Allen do battle. It's Brown in the black machine to the outside of the blue car of the Allens. They sprint towards, yes, as we go in car with Adrian Norman currently running 3rd in the Cooper class, being led by the white car right in front of us, Ollie Walker from the red car, Shane Stoney, and Stoney looking for the move, and he's got the inside line there, and he should go through, and he does, takes the lead of the Cooper class, and that is very, very good news for Shane Stoney, with 9 towards the championship. A double this weekend at Castle Combe, just 6 races remaining, do his championship hopes the world of good. And Adrian Norman may lose out here to Hamish Brand as we go in car with Chris Smith in pursuit of Lawrence Davey. And on the brakes into Tower Corner, and is Smith going to go for it? He sees a gap at the inside, he seesaws at the wheel, and Chris Smith, he's alongside Lawrence Davey as they sprint towards Bobby's, and it's the orange and black car of Chris Smith who takes the lead. Beautifully judged move that from Chris Smith, and he would have been very frustrated after race 1 not to finish on the rostrum, having been knocking on the door throughout the course of the race. This time around though, he's taken the lead, and he's going to set about pulling away as best he can in car with John O'Brown. Still in pursuit. Lee Allen carries more speed through Camp Corner. Lee Allen gives him exactly a car's width the edge of the road as John O'Brown looks to challenge around the outside of Folly and almost puts a wheel on the grass. In fact, he did, and keeps his foot in, still alongside the Allen over the brow into Quarry Corner. But it's Allen who's got the inside line in the blue car, and therefore no way through Quarry for John O'Brown, but maybe on the exit if Allen slithers out wide. That's going to be Brown's opening as they accelerate towards the S's. And now the black car of John O'Brown gains the position. His next target is Lawrence Davey or Chris Smiley. I say either or because they were side by side heading into Hammerdown, as they then sprint on towards Tower Corner, back to the Cooper class, and still the battle for lead continues. It's Ollie Walker who briefly, or is it going to be during, he wrestles it away from Shane Stoney. No, Stoney's got the inside line out of Quarry, immediately draws clear. But look at that, Ricky Page in 3rd place in the red car, number 33. He's caught up to this leading scrap, and this is what Walker and Stoney got to be mindful of, is not slowing themselves down by battling too intensely with each other as they accelerate on in really a 12-wheeler on towards Tower corner as Jake Bracken and Chris Smiley do battle, as does John Brown, going for a very, very late move on Lawrence Davey, pitching the car sideways at Quarry, and it means that Davey immediately able to repass. They're busy doing battle over 5th position at the moment, and again John Brown snaps it sideways through the essence. He's certainly comfortable with the level of grip he's got available to him, John Brown. He just needs to make 1 or 2 of these passing manoeuvres stick and maybe get past Lawrence Davey fairly rapidly, as all the while Chris Smith continues to pull clear of Chris Smiley in 2nd position. In 3rd, keeping Smiley honest, is Luke Cordell, as Ollie Walker and Shane Study continue to fight for lead in the Coupe class, both of them out over the grass next to the camp. They're about to go a lap down to Lee Allen, where Ollie Walker finds his way through. Jake Packen holds on in 4th position from John Brown, so Brown has dispatched Lawrence Davey. Now onto the tail of Jake Packen, who's not going to be an easy man to overtake. Packen, an experienced tin-top racer, does what he can to keep John Brown at bay, as Josh Gollin and Gideon Cresswell go side by side through Quarry Corner. Looking to join in there is Simon Walton. Walton runs out wide and moves across and makes contact with Gideon Cresswell, and around goes Simon Walton. An awful lot there that Gideon Cresswell could do. Walton just seemed to snap across his bows, gets turned into rotation. He rejoins with no harm done, as through camp for the final time heads Chris Smith. It's going to be a very fine victory in treacherous conditions in the mini challenge here at Castle Combe. 2nd place goes to Chris Smiley, and off in the background for another spin goes Simon Walton, as Shane Stoney does the double in the Cooper class and further tightens his grip on the 2013 mini challenge crown, although that narrow win from Ollie Walker and Ricky Page. So in terms of the results, it was Chris Smith from Chris Smiley and Luke Cordell, with then Jake Packen and John Brown, Lawrence Davey completing the top 6. In the class results, JCW, Chris Smith from Chris Smiley and Luke Cordell. And then what a race we had in the Cooper class. Shane Stoney winning it just from Ollie Walker and Ricky Page. Great to see Ricky having 2 good races at Castle Combe. He's had the pace all year, just not the luck. So after a hard day's racing, time to celebrate on the rostrum. The champagne is uncorked and the drivers getting absolutely drenched in the bubbly.
Win number 2 for you this weekend, but they didn't make it easy that time, did they?
No, they really didn't. I think our tyres just went off a bit too quick, so I was sort of defending from about lap 4, which is not ideal, but you know, Ollie drove a great race and we just managed to hang on. But yeah, it was we're getting there with the wet setup. We're not quite there yet, I don't think, but we're a lot better than we were at the start of the season.
Yeah, I managed to get the job done quite early on, get past Luke and Lawrence, and then I think about 5-6 laps from the end I could see Chris. He just started appearing in some of the straights that he hadn't been before, so I was able to sort of find a bit more speed, keep it under control, not make any mistakes and bring it home, so I was really happy.
With 6 races remaining, this is how the championship looks, with Shane Stoney consolidating his lead. Josh Gollin drops from 3rd to 7th after his wretched weekend. Ricky Page climbs up to 10th, and Chris Smith heads the JCW runners in 3rd.
Mini Challenge will be going international for the next rounds. You can join us in Zandvoort in the Netherlands. In the meantime, don't forget you can check us out online. There's the website, Facebook and Twitter. For now, from Castle Combe, it's goodbye.